Michael Carrick, Aston Villa, Gareth Bale, Sunderland, Andrea Berta and Rio Ferdinand. Our 3 topics today, and 3 things that have got more titles than Manchester City and Chelsea. But Michael Carrick gets the headlines on the show today. Sorry for people who don't love him. We do on the United Stand. We have for ages. And for once, he's getting top billing in the show. We'll be talking Bale, Berta, Mendes and Ronaldo shortly. But Michael Carrick, coming to the end of his contract this summer, give him another year. That's what we're saying on the United Stand. What do you think? We've got this new poll thing now on our YouTube channel. Top left-hand corner. Give the eye a click and cast your vote. Would you give Carrick another year? 35 this summer. Fantastic servant to the club. I think give him another year at least. He's in that category of Scholes, Pirlo, who's just going to get better with age. Yes, he's got a bit of an injury record in the last 2 years, but the difference he brings to the team. He did it last season when he came back around November time and we suddenly went on a great run of form. He's done it under Sir Alex Ferguson. He had a bad little time being Moyes, which we forget about. But also this season, he's come back the last couple of games. It was against, certainly against Stoke and Chelsea. And just the team looks different. We're playing forward passes. He wants to play forward passes, and his positional sense is second to none. And so many players have said it, with Carrick in the team, he gives them so much confidence. It's no coincidence he's back. He's like, you know, you've got your Fellainys and your Schneidlins, and it's a bit like, you know, you're nervous. It's your time to go and get a drink at the bar. You're trying to have a chat with your mates, but you're also keeping an eye for a gap to find a pass. Whereas Carrick doesn't care. He's in the conversation. It's his round. He don't care if it's busy. He's going up there. He's finding his spot. He's finding his pass. Michael Carrick definitely gets a new contract for me. Next up, Jose Mourinho. We've touched on him before. There's plenty of videos about him. We want him at Manchester United. He'll make a massive difference. He'll get us back on the top table. The United way, for me, is about playing attractive football and having the youth involved. It's those 2 things. The United way is not about doing it the United way, keeping it in-house and ignoring the fact that the football world is going mega. You've got to have the big players involved. Jose Mourinho's a big player. George Mendes is his agent, is a big player. And Andrea Berta, director of football, who we'll touch on in a minute, is another big player. But a very big player is Gareth Bale. We talk about Premier League proven. Gareth Bale is that one. Jose Mourinho wanted him at Real Madrid. He actually came the summer after Jose Mourinho had gone, or the summer Jose Mourinho left for Chelsea. But Real Madrid, Jose Mourinho wanted Gareth Bale. He apparently wants him now. We're talking about what sort of player Jose Mourinho would bring in. Gareth Bale is my top pick. He's my top player. Mata might go. You know what? If Mata goes, at the end of the day, he's been here for 2 years. Love the player, but he's been a top bloke enough for Manchester United. He's hardly set the world on in the last 2 years. Premier League proven. Gareth Bale, apparently not happy at Real Madrid. The sort of player Jose Mourinho would want to bring in. And I tell you what, I think he'd be absolutely superb for us. What do you think about Gareth Bale to Manchester United? I think it's one of those deals that could happen, keeps happening, and it would be a statement from Jose Mourinho. It'd be a very clever one as well, because, as I said, Premier League proven. He'd come in, he's not a risk, and he's exactly the sort of player that he's had his time at Real Madrid. He's still in his prime. He comes to Manchester United, gives us those prime years and makes a huge difference. Yes to Gareth Bale for me, but give us your thoughts. Talking about that, Andrea Berta. Not a lot of people will know who I'm on about here. He's director of football at Atletico Madrid. Again, got a very close relationship with George Mendes, which equals Jose Mourinho. Touching on George Mendes, I just want to say, Jose Mourinho's agents the likes of Rodriguez, William Carvalho at Porto, isn't it? Portuguese midfielder who's been linked to Arsenal and United for many years. Maybe that could happen as well. Ronaldo, obviously. Well, I'm not too convinced about that. But also, very good friends with Andrea Berta. We need a director of football. Ed Woodward, he's like the bloke you get stuck behind in a queue at Tesco's, where he's only got a couple of items, but he gets his calculator out. He's not sure whether he wants to buy them. He's trying to haggle for his bottle of milk. That's Ed Woodward when it comes to transfer activity, football related, at Manchester United. We need a director of football. This Atletico Madrid bloke, Berta, formerly of Parma and I think Napoli as well, or maybe Genoa, Italian, very good reputation. Atletico Madrid, they won the league a couple of years ago. They're always at the top table now in Spain. Obviously, they got a good manager in Simeone, but a lot of things are down to this Berta. He was happy to get rid of Cortez to bring Oblak in goal. He's good at bringing through youth as well, the likes of Coke and Sol Nagaz. And also, yes, very, very astute in the transfer market on what's going on in the world transfer market and also around the youth. So it'd be perfect for Manchester United. We need a director of football. Ed Woodward should be left alone to do the business side of things. That's where his expertise is. He's not a football man. So Andrea Berta is very interesting. Give us your thoughts on whether you would like a director of football at the club as well. But I think this is all getting quite exciting. Carrick for me stays. Jose Mourinho, we're going to touch on the players he might get rid of in a moment, but this George Mendes link is good. He's a big player in world football, and whether you like the way football's going or not, Manchester United need to have a piece of that pie and have a good old, enjoy it, a nice steak pie, yes. Have a good old bite, get involved. United way is about youth and the way we play football, but we've got to get hold of the big, big talents. Jose Mourinho, bottom line, is the best manager in the world, statistically. George Mendes is the most powerful agent in the world. If we get him, you get Mourinho. And Andrea Berta is arguably the best director of football. Those three signings could be huge. Bring in Gareth Bale, and absolutely fantastic. Let's go to the Drawty Devil. We're not seen him for a week. Over to you, Drawty. Speak to you in a moment about who Mourinho would probably get rid of.
Thank you, Mark. And with the transfer window now closed, there really isn't any transfer speculation to report on. So we need to start focusing on the future of Manchester United and what manager could do the job post Louis van Gaal. Ryan Giggs, I do not want as Manchester United manager. There are a lot of parallels between him and Guardiola that people are trying to make. Guardiola already succeeded in the second division of La Liga with the Barcelona B squad. Giggs hasn't done anything yet, and it would be a massive risk if we even thought about putting him as manager of Manchester United right now. So, there's a little manager over in La Liga, currently managing Valencia. You may have heard him, you may not have. He's quite understated. Used to be a right back in Manchester United. I don't know if you remember him. Gary Neville. He's also over there with his brother. I think his name's Phil. I'm not too sure on that one. But Gary Neville, could he be the Manchester United manager we need? He's fiery. He's definitely outspoken, and he's almost like the Diet Coke version of Sir Alex Ferguson. Could Gary Neville do the job, though? Based on his record in Spain so far, I have my serious doubts about that. In fact, it sends home a message saying that even if you are a Manchester United legend, like Giggs, and let's be fair, Neville is a legend too, you're not guaranteed to be a successful manager. Mark Hughes, Steve Bruce, Gordon Strachan, all ex-Manchester United players never made it to the absolute top of their game in terms of management. And look at Roy Keane. Everyone thought he was the absolute sort of makeup for a manager. His fiery temper on the pitch, he could convert into a manager. No, it never happened. In fact, with Sunderland and Ipswich, he completely failed. So, Gary Neville, Manchester United? No. Back over to you in the studio, Mark.
Thanks for that, Drawty. Very quickly then to close it up. Jose Mourinho, who would he get rid of? Juan Mata, I've already discussed it. Love Juan Mata, but you know what? I like the milkman. Doesn't mean I'm going to let him play for Manchester United. Juan Mata's not set the world on fire. He's not like, people say, oh, if we get Jose, we lose Juan Mata. You know what? There's not many players I wouldn't lose to get Jose Mourinho because what he brings is a title in the next 2 years and he's fantastic in the transfer market. So sorry, Juan, if you are going, you're going. I'm not convinced by it. I think it's a very easy, lazy paper story, to be honest, that Juan Mata would definitely go. There's a chance, but, it's not for definite. Fellaini, I would hope he would get rid of him. It just doesn't fit in with Jose Mourinho. He's not mobile enough. He's not good enough defensively. He could end up being a squad player, so not definitely, but I would hope Fellaini would go because I just don't think he's a United player as much as he's improved and obviously enjoys playing for Manchester United. Again, that isn't enough for me. Memphis, maybe he'd be in danger because you know what, he is lazy and he's got to book his ideas up and that is something that Mourinho doesn't like. But he's young enough that he could learn. Apart from that, maybe Carrick could go. I don't want Carrick to go, as I said. Remember to do the vote with the eye in the top left-hand corner. Players that he probably wouldn't bring in that I like is Lukaku. He did get rid of him from Chelsea, so whether he'd want to bring him in or not is another thing. But strikers-wise, I think he'd be going at the top table. That's what Mourinho wants. He'd want the best. That's why I mentioned Bale. Anyone else he might get rid of? I think Phil Jones, quite rightly. His injury record's not great and he hasn't developed into the player we all hoped he would. But give us your thoughts on who you think he'd go with. If I was going to go three, I'd go Phil Jones, Fellaini, and potentially Memphis over Mata, because I think Memphis needs to improve, but maybe Mata would go and understand that. Rooney I think he'd keep, unless he was harsh, and Mourinho doesn't mind doing this, and he just decides that Rooney's over the hill, which I think he is on the downward spiral, and I would send him off to China. But that's my thoughts. I do think Rooney has been a great servant to Manchester United. But we need to be at the top table. That's what it's all about. Loads to discuss. Get commenting below. We always reply. Thanks for watching Red Rumours. We'll be back again next Monday at 4 o'clock. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Please drop us a like. Remember to vote in the Carrick vote. Thanks for watching.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the show, just hit that like button below. It really, really does help us out. And don't forget to subscribe to the United Stand YouTube channel. As well as that, we've also just launched the United Stand Extra Time, where there's going to be loads of bonus content that you guys haven't seen before. There's plenty of ways to get involved, so yeah, just hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and have a great week.